This is McCook's Mr. Bilson. Honored to have you here. School's getting going, so I'm going to completely strip out the thing and clean it and set it up for a school time sales rather than swimming pool type of sales. It is different. And with the kids going to school, though, some of them will be headed out away from home for the first time and in groups that they've never been around before, in college, for example. And so I tell two stories to maybe open your eyes a little bit. A young woman that went to grade school and high school in McCook went 4 years to University of Nebraska and would come back once in a while to see her folks. Well, 4 years she had been gone, though, from this area. And when she did come back, after she graduated for a couple of weeks before she went out to get work, she was invited to a party, and so she went. And some of the kids there knew her, young people, I should call them. But two confronted her right in front of everybody. In fact, they insinuated maybe she was a narc trying to get them busted because there was some younger people there, minors, drinking, if you will. And so needless to say, they thought maybe she was some kind of narc because they hadn't seen her around. They didn't know her from the old days. And so she was targeted. And she said it got kind of hairy there for a little bit. She thought she was wondering just how serious it was going to be. There were a number of people there that said, oh, we know her, we'll vouch for her, she's okay. But for a while there, it was pretty touch and go, what was going to come down the pike. And finally, they backed off of her a little bit, and she just left them, and they allowed her to. But something like that could even get a lot more serious. And I'll finish with this story. A young man came from the eastern part of the state back here to McCook area to work and to go to college. And when he came back, apparently he got in with a group or two, and they questioned who he was, coming from nowhere, if you will, and showing up here. And they thought maybe he was a narc. And he answered their questions, and they weren't satisfied with him. And so they took him out to a sand pit. A couple of them did. They pulled out a .22 rifle. And as he stood outside the car, they shot him. And he begged them to, don't shoot him anymore. He was saying, I'm not a narc, I'm not a cop, or anything. And they shot him again. And he said, I'm seriously wounded, take me to the hospital. I'll say it was an accident. It didn't matter. They shot him a third time. And the two young men that did that deed, they both agreed that his last words were, I'm not a narc, and you've killed me. I'm not a narc, and you've killed me. And they buried the body in a shallow grave. But they were caught. They were caught. But needless to say, your young people need to understand that the dark side out there is willing to do anything to protect themselves and their evil ways, including they would have no second thoughts about killing a loved one of yours. Thank you for your time.